Hello everyone, welcome back to the stream. We are here for some more Assetto Corsa racing. Yeah, we're here for the 2 hours of Fuji Multiclass race in the Cadillac. So yeah, hopefully we should have a good stream. 2 hours isn't that long. Hey, next week we have a 6-hour race. That's a long one. That's a long one. So 2 hours should be just fine. But welcome on in, Aris. Qualifying started about 5 minutes ago now. For the GT3 class, that is. We do have a split qualifying with the multi-class. We will have 15 minutes of qualifying starting in about 9.5 minutes now. I'm almost racing dropped frames come up. No. Please no. Please not dropped frames. Only 100. That's not too bad. But yeah, welcome onto the stream. As I mentioned, we are just waiting for our quali slot. In fact, let's yeah, we can switch over to the game. We are in Cadillac. There is a way. Yeah, Cadillac, I believe. Oh. There we go. We are in this lovely Cadillac Hypercar, or LMDH car, whatever you prefer. We've got a Hypercar livery. We also have the Ferrari Hypercar and the van wall that you can see in the background. So yeah, this, as well as a range of GT3 cars, which are currently out on track, such as this Z4, this Nissan GTR, Audi R8, Mercedes AMG, Lamborghini Huracan, Ferrari 488, McLaren 650S, and that is all of our GT3s, it looks like. Good selection. Only doubled up on the BMW and the Mercedes. So that would be 7 different manufacturers. So a lot of variety. And that we'll be seeing hopefully quite often out on track. As we're sort of lapping around in the hypercar. Yeah, still, Z4 does look good. I think I prefer this one in terms of the liveries. And the track that we are racing around is Fuji. But while we're waiting for a qualifying slot, let's maybe talk around a lap for the GT3s, going through the final couple of corners here. So, about to start a lap for the Z4 that we ride on board with, currently sitting in provisional pole. I don't know if that Ferrari there was trying to get a good start to the lap, but they have not succeeded in that mission. But on to start-finish straight. It's a very long start-finish straight here at Fuji. It's about a kilometre long if I recall correctly, and we'll be getting up to about 315 kilometers an hour in the hypercars. Not quite sure what speed is for the GT cars. That was a big lag moment. So unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to get to go on board with that lap. Maybe we'll get one here with the R8 going through the final couple of corners again. Hopefully we don't see lag like that in the actual race. But yes, I have the final corner on to this long start-finish straight. I don't believe I have a way of bringing up data. We can see inboard. By 276 kilometers an hour, it looks like braking for turn 1 at about 150 meters. Very tight turn 1 will be quite difficult in the opening lap and open to carnage. Then we have the run, a lot of glare on the windscreen here, heading towards turn 2. Fast left-hander that then leads you directly into this long right-hander. You can carry a lot of speed into it, but eventually you've got to scrub some off as it tightens up in the ladder section, and then get the car back over to the right-hand side. Open up this left-hander in the middle of the lap. Important exit 2 here, so we start to make our way down to the chicane. Another good overtaking opportunity. Try once again braking about 150 meters, very tight entry into the chicane, and still fairly tight on the exit over the curbs. Gotta be careful not to take too much of them when you're trying to get the power down. Then you're into this awkward final sector over the crest of the right-hander. Causes the car to understeer quite a bit. Then you're braking while turning for this tightening left-hander. The R8 getting caught out by a BMW and running a bit wide. Very easy to lock a tire and run wide. That left-hander is a bit deceptively tight with another crest in it. As you can see, the Audi slowing down to build a gap before it starts next lap. And then you've got another corner that tightens up. Starts quite open. You hit the brakes, but you're having to turn into the tighter part of the corner while on the brakes. Again, very easy corner to lock up on, but a very important corner to get a good exit out of as it leads you on to this long start-finish straight. A lot of time to be won and lost by a good or bad exit out of there. I'm going to get back on board and make sure I am in the right camera for myself. Couple of server settings. For balancing, there is no fuel usage in this race, so everyone will theoretically be on 1 litre of fuel the entire time. Bit disappointing not to have that in the strategy, of course, but apparently the hypercars are just too vastly different in their fuel usage for it to be fair, so fair enough. But to make up for it, tyre wear has been put on 150%, so about 1.5 times tyre wear. And there is a mandatory stop, so over the 2 hours, you can take it at any point during the 2 hours. So the idea is that you'll kind of have to pit for tyres at some point in the race. So yeah, we'll probably be pitting around the halfway mark. In the stints I've done so far, they're not too long. They've been no more than about 20-25 minutes. I haven't really felt the effects of tyre wear, but we will have to see how this race progresses. Also just remembered, I forgot to do something. Which I'm going to try and quickly do for our qualifying starts. Right, so that done, we have not too long now before the start of quali. One of the things with this car, and I'll go over quickly, gearing, don't need to get tires, happy with this. Oh, that reminds me, before I forget, I have to put this up. So yeah, tires, we only have one dry compound in the Cadillac. I think the Ferrari does have soft and hard tires as well. But I don't think they'll be too advantageous. 1 litre of fuel since fuel usage isn't on. TC running at 3. ABS, these cars aren't meant to have ABS, but server settings do allow it. So for realism, have it off. MGK delivery or deployment, there is only one map, sustain. So don't get played around with that, unfortunately. Does mean that with the fuel usage also being turned off, there's no sort of quali and race setups, you know, stint wise, and how you set the car up and how it handles everything is both are the same, which is a bit disappointing to miss out on that, but oh well. Our qualifying session has begun, so we will get out and set a few laps. Target time that we're trying to get is a 26.9 or 26.8 to be optimistic, but I'll settle for a 27.0, and hopefully that'll be good enough to get us pole. We've also been graced with tyre blankets. The tyre's not at optimal pressures or temperatures when you come out of the pits, but they're not far from it, which makes it much easier. I just seen the times for the GT3 quali, very close together. 24 thousandths difference between pole and second. Incredibly close. Step the final corner. Onto the start-finish straight. Start our first flying lap. Timing line quite late on in the straight. A little bit wide there on the exit. A little bit wide of the apex there too. Down towards the chicane. Can use this inside curb quite a bit, but you've got to be careful of these next two curbs. Still gotta be a little careful with the rear end. Try and put the power down with the traction control. Cross line 27.3 for our first lap. You can see the time we gain there on the exit, not running wide. Two tenths up now. Heading towards the chicane. This final sector is easily the most difficult of the lap. Very difficult to be consistent through here. So we're not going to be quite into the 26s this lap. Going to be just over a tenth off. All of the curb there. A little bit wide here. Yeah, kind of thrown away this lap. Running wide there. Delta doesn't look too bad, but when you get to the left-hander, you're just so compromised for it that you lose a couple of tenths. Good exit out of the final corner. I might end up actually being close to beating our previous time. Not quite gonna do it. Only 200ths off. That shows you the time that's potentially in the lap. Tenth up, coming towards the chicane. A little bit deep in, puts me on a tight line for the second part. Again, good exit out of the final corner. And we'll get into the 26s just about here. 26.986. I think that's exactly 1,000th quicker than the lap I did in practice before quali here. Not been a good start to this lap. See how much better that chicane was this time though. A little front left lock up there put me a little bit wide. even better exit this lap. Not by much, just a little bit. Next best time is a 27.6. 7 tenths off us at the moment. So it's looking good for us to get pole position. If anything, this is as much practicing for the race now as trying to say a quali lap. Minutes left in the quali session. Very close to matching our best time so far. Just half a tenth off, not even half a tenth even. Showing good consistency for the race. Gonna be a little bit quicker here. Not by much. Certainly very close behind in the fight for second place. Using all of the track. Curb did unsettle the car a little bit, so I want to try and avoid doing that in the race. Catching up to one of the Ferraris. Bit of a lock up there. Ooh. Car snapped around. And since we're catching traffic, might as well back up. We'll get one more lap. We don't really need it for quali. Will just be one more practice lap. And to be honest with you, we'll probably practice a pit entry in at the end of this lap. Just under a minute left in the session now. See how the car just skates around when you get onto that sort of third part of the curb, or second part mainly, the solid red part. Does lose you time, and you do risk throwing the car off into a spin because of it. Ooh, hit that curb awkwardly. Bit of a rough end to quali. We can practice pit entry. Ferrari going very slowly into the pits there. You do lock your tyre up in the pit lane. It does actually give you a significant flat spot, but luckily we'll be changing tyres anyway when we come into the pits. Dropped some more frames, annoyingly. But yeah, that will be so we're end of quali. Oh, one of the other Cadillacs got a bit closer. Only about half a second off. Quali time was 9:05, was actually 1,000th off, rather than being 1,000th quicker with the 26,985. Or, sorry, I need to... 986, yes, 1,000th off. Looking at the best sector times, don't have the best first sector. Actually a 10th slower than our personal best sector 1 in that, on our fastest lap. Then sector 2, did get purple sector 2 and purple sector 3. Was only, what, 13 thousandths off during our fastest lap, and then by 800ths off for the middle sector. So there was about 2/10ths in the lap. Could have been a 26.7, but we've had to be in a really perfect lap. Either way, that 942 is the fastest single lap that I've done. Very close battle for P3, just 4.5 hundredths separating the two. Of course, everything's all set up in strategy. We've got the pressure set. We don't need to add fuel since there is no fuel consumption. If you add fuel into the car, you can't actually get rid of it once the race is started. Now, something I haven't mentioned is we're going to have a rolling start for the race. So we do have a pace car that will guide us around. It'll drive up once the race quote-unquote starts by the game definitions. They'll guide us around for a rolling start. Okay, it's just getting confirmation of what side the grid needed to start on when we do the rolling start. We have to wait for the safety car. You can see it on the map in the bottom right. Pulling up, there it is. Oh! Annoyingly, the tires are going to lose a bit of temperature as we go round on this formation lap. They'll still be better than if they started stone cold. Making sure everyone can be bunched up for the start. Waiting for a message at the top of the screen. There it is. One car wasn't stopping into T1. Thankfully they just shot by on the inside. Main thing here is to get into a rhythm. So then a clean start. Already built a 1.5 second lead according to the top left. Seen one car going deep and running wide into the hairpin. The only thing is, with the sun where it is, you can't actually read the braking boards for that fast left-hander. So it's going to be easy to just misjudge it, especially as the sun gets a bit lower later in the race. bit wide out of the final corner. Compromises our exit, but we've had a good second lap. Pulled out another second on the cars behind. A bit wide there. Much better exit that time out of the final corner. They're set on the rev limiter there out of third gear for a split second, which doesn't help. A bit too much curve there on the left hand side. Yeah, just getting ourselves a nice comfortable gap before we catch the traffic, which we will probably do at the end of this lap. Looks like it's going to be an awkward situation of maybe catching them in the final sector. Bit early on the brakes there. There's the first of the GTs. Bit wide there. GT seemed a little bit nervous, which isn't ideal. You don't want GTs to be nervous when you're lapping them. You want them to be confident in sticking to their line and sticking to one side of the track. You don't have to be second guessing which side of the track GT3 is going to be on, especially through a little section like this where you tend to drive down the middle of the road rather than directly on one side. This can be a bit of an awkward place too. One car's had an issue up ahead. Assume it's a GT. GT sliding around there, looks like they were struggling for grip. It's very tempting to just send it down the inside there. That's how you get involved in a crash. And with the lead that we have, that's the last thing that we need, is to get involved in a crash by being impatient. That was close with an Audi. They went to pass the Lambo just as I went to pass them, and it meant that we were 3 wide. Put me on a wide line that I just ended up running onto the grass with. That's why I wanted the gap. I'm trying to be cheeky here. Around the outside. But yeah, that's a 6-second lead that we had. Now down to about 3.5 seconds. Very costly lap there. The main thing is it didn't lose us any positions. Still one more GT car to pass. But very deep into T1 there. Around the outside of that GT. They were in a bit of a wider line through the long right-hander than I expected them to be in. Wanted to try and get to the inside, but the space wasn't there. Not that they did anything wrong. If that's the line that they want to take, then they're absolutely entitled to do so. That's past the whole GT3 field for the first time. Wide at the final corner. And yeah, second place getting past that final GT in the final sector, losing a bit of time again. Already have people in the pits. One thing is, now that we're in free air, we're immediately back onto the pace. That's a very odd shadow. So this lap is going to be a mid 27. Yeah, so we were a second quicker than the car behind last lap. We'll be catching the GT3s once again fairly soon. Another awkward bounce on the inside curb. You can't either want to just drive over it or drive around it. Whereas a couple of times I've done something in between those, in between that. Sort of driving half on it, half off it, and that's what's upsetting the car. Gonna get a couple of, at least one free pass on a GT3 here. Look at the concertina effect, how much we close up in the brake zone. Get another easy pass here in a GT3. Second lead now to the car in second. Getting a lot luckier with the GT3s this time round. Losing nowhere near as much time as we did last time. Wide through there. Now the prototypes behind are getting stuck in traffic through the final sector. So as if we were not lucky enough with the how we were able to get through the traffic, then it's our competitors, as they're passing, I've had to, you know, they've lost a lot of time, whereas we've lost none at all, effectively. Doesn't get much luckier than that. And then the lines are starting to blur now between when we're passing the last GT3 car of the pack, which we're doing right here, and when we're passing the first car, which we can see just up ahead going into turn 1. Slide there off the inside curb. So starting our 17th racing lap here. 18-second lead now. Six minutes remaining in the race. Careful of that GT3 rejoining. Not the best rejoin I've ever seen. Can be a bit difficult at times in fairness. If track conditions have changed at all between practice, quali and the race. Struggling to get the same lap times I was getting in practice and quali. And none of the cars behind have even gone to the 27s. Which is surprising to me. I was hoping they'd stay right there. 24-second gap now to the car in second. They still only have a 2-second gap to the car in third. Starting to get a little bit of a flat spot on that front right. To a few more cars now, including prototype 2 lap. Looks like a Ferrari. Is awkward. Yes, all is going well, Aidan. Thank you for stopping by. As we see a pass in the GT class. lets us through. Certainly closed in on them a little bit more than I was expecting to on the exit of that right-hander. A couple of more GT cars. Lambo, quite wide from the apex. Easily done. We'll get down the inside of them. Bit of a slide from the Mercedes in front. As they try to put down the power from the out of the final corner. "85 minutes to go in the race." Not a good lock-up to have. I think the car in 5th place just made a mistake because they were right behind P4, but then suddenly that gap has jumped up to 10 plus seconds. Could also just be a little error in the UI relative. Catching up to one of the Vanels now. Hopefully we don't catch them at the same time as we catch the next GT3, like we did with the previous Ferrari, where it got quite awkward into the final corner. Manuel lets us go on the inside there. Very much appreciated. Mercedes thankfully leaves us room on the left hand side this time. Since I think that's the same Mercedes that we got a little close with in that same section a little earlier on. BMW struggling to find the apex of the final corner there. As I've said a few times, very easily done with these tightening radius corners. We're certainly well past the point where there's no clear gap between the sort of lead GT3 car and the last GT3 car. Be patient here. Round the outside. Good cooperation from the GT3 as well to leave us the space on the outside. Looks like the battle for P2. Actually, P2 and P3 have switched around. So a change on the podium. Actually go for a little change of strategy here. To be safe, well, originally I was thinking of a one-stop strategy, pitting at the halfway mark of the race. I don't know how bad tyre wear is or isn't, but just to make sure we don't hit the cliff suddenly and find ourselves sliding off track, I'm going to go for a two-stop strategy. And as we're 1/3 of the way into the race, I'm going to take a pit stop now. Curious to see where we come out relative to the cars behind. How much time we lose exactly. Oh, one of the Tim is pitting from second place, not long after taking second place. We do lose the lead. Florian deciding not to pit. Very fast corners. Very sort of sharp apex. Not a lot of space there on the inside, but there was just enough. So now we've got a 7-second lead to the car in front. Let's see if we can chase them down. They are the next car in front of us. So gap now is 6 seconds. Too much carb there. GTs are much slower through that final corner than I expected. So car in front did 29.0 that lap. We're going to do 28.3, so we gained 7/10. There is the leader that we're chasing down. We're back on pace. It's going to be at 27.2 this lap. Lead car 29.1. So we gained nearly 2 seconds that lap. Judged again around that Mercedes pretty well, if I say so myself. Ooh, a GT3 as we're getting into the final sector. Ooh, GT3 loops it. So as we come on to the start-finish straight, just a second separating us. We're not quite close enough to get any slipstream, I don't think. see left-hander there. A little bit wide from the Chevy in front. Looking for a strong cutback line. We're going to get to the inside, heading towards the chicane. Give them the space, but try and hold it around the outside of that tight right-hander was always going to be very difficult, but we're going to catch traffic here immediately. Ooh, a snap of oversteer from the rear end. They get caught up behind the McLaren GT3, which allows them to get back past. Ooh. That was very awkward. Very awkward indeed. Side by side for the lead. Well, we're trying to lap GT3 cars that are side by side. A couple of them are fighting for position, but also the lead GT3 was lapping the two of them that were fighting for position. Sketchy that indeed. But we made it through without any contact. I think the yellow Cadillac did have a little touch with the BMW, I think it was. Or, sorry, the McLaren that first held us up, like the Florian to get back down the inside of us. They also cut to the inside of that McLaren, a little bit of door-to-door, or wheel-to-wheel, I should say, contact. Can't really have door-to-door contact with the prototype. Well, you can, but it wouldn't be your traditional door-to-door contact. It'd be a very serious crash. A little bit wide across the curb. Not gaining anything from it. 68.5 minutes. That's a little too much. A little bit wide there on that curb too. Laps are counting by as we finish our 36th lap of the race, starting the 37th. Coming up to lap another prototype soon. This will be P6 that has taken a pit stop. So it looks like they're also on a two-stop strategy. I mean, it still might be possible to nurse a set of tyres from the third way mark to the end. bit of slipstream here. We'll be beating our fastest lap of the race. Not enough to get into the 26s, unfortunately. We will improve our fastest lap by a 10th. I've just noticed Tim currently sitting in 4th place, having followed us into the pits, has got into the 27s, 27.5. Car did not ride the curb comfortably that time. Starting to come up on a pack of cars. Both GT3 and prototypes. Welcome in, Kevin. Yeah, things are looking good. Duck in for a bit of slipstream. Fry just about got that slowed down. Trying to pass the Mercedes, still ran wide on the exit. Kind of hindered the Mercedes. We'll just about get by the Mercedes before the left-hander, the Fry, loses it on the curb, spins right in front of us. That was close. A little close for comfort, that one. Six-second lead now back to the car in 2nd place. Catching up to Van Hall. They're going to stay to the right hand side to the S3. I think they're actually going into the pit lane. As we are getting only 2.5 minutes away from the halfway mark. So now is round about when we'll be seeing the one-stoppers coming into the pits. Bit of a lock up into T1. 2nd place Florian into the pits. Now I'd be curious if they come out behind or ahead of Tim Bob for a net 2nd place. Going for a good lap here. Bad line through the final corner. Could have been the 26 I've been looking for all race. But we're officially past the halfway mark of the race. Less than 60 minutes remaining. That's turning in a little bit too early to take too much carb. Ryan was slightly sliding around there on the exit, trying to put down the power while I was trying to hold a tight line, passing the GT. Yeah, I'm going to another pit stop just for safety. I feel like the one stop woo is going to be the quicker strategy, but I have the lead that I might as well play a safe two stop. Like, even after 40 minutes, I wasn't really feeling any tire wear, so I'm pretty confident the tires would have went 60 minutes being alright. Maybe there would have been a little bit of drag, but I don't think the tires would have hit a cliff. But if there was a cliff, I didn't want to find out. So I was like, hey, let's go for the two-stop. You can see pretty much just about most people have pitted once. A couple of people have had to take 2 trips down pit lane, potentially due to damage. No, this is just a one-off. I've linked the community's SimGrid page that are hosting this in the description. Same community that we've done the Long Beach Formula 3 race earlier in the year. Same community that we're running in for the World Touring Car Series. And also same community we did the Automobilista 2 Hypercar GT3 series in. That one was a little more inspired by IMSA, whereas this race a little more inspired by WEC. See one of the GT3 cars going into the pits for their second stop. Ferrari generously lets us through. Sun continuing to get a little lower in the sky. Catching up to P4 to put a lap on to them. At this race, I'm feeling if I did commit to one stop, I'm feeling there might have been a slight chance I'd lap the entire field. It'd be tight, but there'd be some potential for it. I'm definitely not going to lap the field taking a two-stop strategy. I just don't think it's quick enough. Lapping the entire field is quite the feat. So to then do it on an inferior strategy, don't think is going to be possible this race. Alternatively, I haven't technically committed to the two-stop. I could still try and run these tyres through to the end of the race. Tyres on 150%, so if we did it on 20 minutes, that would be more like 2 hours, which is sort of your regular double stint. So the tyres might not be that bad to go to the end of the race. Also, with fuel consumption being turned off, you know, the car is always at its lightest. You've never got a fuel tank of fuel holding you back, and you know, thus having that extra wear on the tires. Very wide into the chicane from the red Cadillac. I got S3 here. Much appreciated. Make sure to not accelerate into the back of the GT3. little bit wide there. Catching up to some more GT3s in this final sector. Mercedes are struggling for traction. Now, if that Lambo was just considering pulling off the racing line there to let me through, I'm going to be really annoyed at them. That is a thing you absolutely do not do in multi-class racing. The race is going very well. We claimed pole position by about half a second. And we're currently leading by 53 seconds. We're nearly 50 laps into the race. In fact, the next lap will be lap 50 of the race. We did have one formation lap before the race, but that is counted in the lap totals because of AC not officially supporting formation lap. So the race is going pretty well. As we start lap 50 now. I will say, we've got a 18 car grid here. Currently racing. I think we had 19 people start, but someone, I think I see in Discord, had issues with their game crashing, unfortunately. So that brings us down to 18. But between the two classes, they're split completely evenly, 50-50 at 9 cars apiece, which is great to see. Sometimes an issue you see with races like multi-class races like this is one class is well oversubscribed compared to the other. But it's great to see that that isn't the case here. "46.5 minutes to go in the race. Just getting past that fry there into T1. Don't think it's going to be too much longer until the sun starts making things a bit more difficult. got a bit of a gap in the GT3s now. I can see a lot of prototypes in front of us on the relative in the top right. Shimming timings didn't work out for you to join. We were meant to have, I think, 27 on the grid as of this morning. We had a few dropouts, unfortunately, during the day, so it came down to about 24 or 23. So a few people not turning up, unfortunately. It would have been a brilliant number to have for the grid. Not too little, but also not too much. Ferrari out wide. Looks like they're trying to chase down P7. Deep into T1. Ferrari out wide once again. And a GT3 car to pass here in the mix. Oh, the Van Hulls lost it. Oh, BMW just slowing down on the apex of the corner. I don't know if they were slowing up to let the Ferrari pass, but yeah, I wasn't expecting them to check up so much. Or even to hold such a tight line. Still tight on the apex curve there into T1. Not too much damage, thankfully. We'll see how it affects the handling of the car. Feels like it has a little bit more understeer now through that long right-hander. "41 minutes left in the race. This is very close to the point that we'd be making our second stop if we do make one. I'm at least going to give it one more lap. But if I do pit, I'll definitely be repairing that damage. Curious to see if Tim comes in, since he pitted at the same time that we pitted, 40 minutes into the race. So about 40 minutes ago now. us cleanly around the outside of that GT3 car. That looks like a Lambo GT3 missing the chicane, cutting it. We'll go a lap here without GT3 traffic just to get a better idea of how bad the damage is. Glad that GT3 didn't leave it any later to make that move to the left-hand side. Felt like I couldn't commit to the throttle as much out of the quick left-hander there as I normally do, but didn't feel too bad through the long right-hander. So yeah, I think I'm losing a little bit, but I really think it's minimal. Fry runs wide. I don't know if that was intentional or not. Definitely held us up a little bit, as I wasn't quite close enough to make a move. Into T1. Oh, that was a big snap. I really thought the car was going to go on me there. Go round completely. You know what? I'm just going to take the safe strategy and go for a second pit stop. I'm curious to see how long the damage repair takes. It's not a lot of damage, so it shouldn't take too long, but it's very car dependent how long damage takes to repair. Thankfully it happens at the same time as changing tyres on AC. So in we come. Damage repair. Quick enough at least. About a quarter of the time of changing tyres. Now, when we did pit the first time, we came out in second place. But with Tim Bob following us in and Tim now being in second, I think we should have the gap to remain in the lead. So new set of tyres, repairing the front end damage that we picked up. Cut the corner because I couldn't see where the apex was and I didn't want, so I wanted to keep it tight with the GT3 on our outside. Oh, the Ferrari losing the rear end. There. Stays out wide, that's through. Okay, that's just defending. That's cheeky. Defending against a higher class car. Permit got them. They ran wide on the exit. Only lost themselves more time than they needed to. Still a bit wide there. Good straight line speed test here between us and the Ferrari. Ferrari tucks back into slipstream for a moment, pulls back alongside. Very even, which is good to see. Means the cars are balanced. For straight line speed at least. I shouldn't have gone that left-hand side curb as much as I did. I set the fastest lap of the race last lap, and I didn't even notice because I was racing the Ferrari. Unfortunately, still at 27.1. That felt a bit braver on the outside for the Nissan. Needlessly risky, you could say. But I can't want to go for another fastest lap. They were very close. left a lot of time on the table at T1 on that fastest lap. If this 26 leads me all race, I'm going to be a little bit annoyed. Two-tenths up heading towards the chicane, just this final sector now. Lost a little bit of time in the final sector, losing time down the start-finish straight because of bad exit. I'm just going to dip under it. 039. That's a little frustrating. Well, we try again. Even better run through T1 this time. Little wide there. Catching a GT3 car. We'll get them before the chicane, but we'll compromise our line into the chicane. Better exit of the final corner, but not good enough for the time that we lost in that final sector. Well, throughout the lap, really, after T1. Give another GT3 to pass on this lap. Good run through that left-hander. I just ran wide through here by myself. Left GT3 plenty of space. Could have been a little bit tighter, but was really carrying a bit too much speed for the line I was on myself. Maybe next lap. But of course, there's always GT3s lurking around the corner. A little bit wide there. Try and get a good start to the lap. There'll be 2 GT3s to pass this lap. So it's unlikely that we're going to get this lap in cleanly. Half a tenth up entering this left-hander. Oh, that was tight. Ah, that lock-up is gonna hurt. Yeah, quarter of a second down. Too much time to try and pick up in the final sector. Up there too. Gotta be careful of the left front. Could be getting a little bit of a flat spot on it. Right, we hopefully don't have any GT3s to pass here in this next lap. So this could be the lap. Not as good through turn 1, but only missing a 100th or 2. Up on the delta going towards the chicane, half a tenth. A bit of a slide exiting the chicane, they'll lock up there too. They'll lock up there too into the left-hander. It's going to be tight, need a good exit. Got a better exit, but it's not going to be good enough. Gonna meet a GT3 this time, so might not be this lap. Gonna meet 2 GT3s even. Not gonna be this lap, 3 GT3s. 2 of which are fighting over P11 overall, which I think is P2 in class. Thought that Mercedes was about to spin there to the left-hand side, which I was trying to aim to pass them. Could have been very awkward. Was kind of awkward anyway. That's a Ferrari prototype going wide. Gotta leave them space to rejoin. Do you have a couple of other prototypes in front fighting over P6? So I might be able to get the popcorn out and enjoy a bit of this battle. We're up a little bit, despite having a little moment on the curb. I think some car, I think it's a GT3, has had issues through here, so we might end up catching them. Run out wide. Try and get a good exit, which we do. We'll get a bit of Ferrari slipstream too as well to help us along here. Look at that. A little bit of lucky timing. Well into the 26s there. That was a very awkward moment. Me and the Ferrari were kind of racing each other into the first turn. The Ferrari nearly went into the back of the Lambo as I was like, oh, not quite close enough to go for a dive bomb on that Lambo. Play it safe, brake a little bit early. Ferrari didn't brake early enough. Nearly ran into the back of them, had to take avoiding action. Maybe clipped them slightly because it looked like the Lambo kind of nudged towards the right hand side. I don't know if it was just them reacting to the Ferrari trying to pass them on the left hand side. And that's unfortunately cost that Ferrari quite a bit of time in their pursuit for P6. Gotta play just patient here with the van wall. That will do. If anything, that probably helps the van walls. Now they're going to have a slipstream down this start-finish straight. So if anything, we're helping the van wall here. Just hopefully they get their braking right into turn 1 here. Which they do indeed. Grass there. Could be very difficult to beat that 26.8 between traffic and the slipstream that we got on that lap. Thankfully the Ferrari that cut the chicane there just waited for us to pass before rejoining. As a little awkward and a little sketchy there. That isn't a fight for position. One of those cars is trying to lap the other. Don't know which way around it is. Couldn't tell. Just trying to make sure I didn't hit any of them while getting past them. Lap 72 then. Little deep into T1. Just over 14 minutes to go in the race. There's P4. Looks like they had a moment. Look at the delta now. We didn't get that bad of an exit of the final corner, but you can see it's just ticking up into the positives. That's from the slipstream that we received from the Ferrari when we set that fastest lap. We gained about a quarter of a second from that slipstream. But that's what I make it out to be. Just had to make sure I cleared the Mercedes there before I tied into my lineup to reach an apex. Hopefully this Cadillac will let us past here, which they do indeed. Very appreciated. We have a few GT3s to pass on this next lap. Not going to be close enough to pass this Mercedes. But the Mercedes is going to run wide and let us through anyway. This could be awkward here. Isn't going to make it any easier if I take a per line through the left-hander. Here the car just scraping the floor in the middle of the right-hander there. I am running the front of this car as low as it can go on the right height. The rear is raised by 2 clicks, which is the same difference that the setup has, or the car has setup wise from default. Car felt pretty balanced, so I felt no need to change it. Try again out wide. Gonna be another drag race with the Ferrari. Down to start finish straight here. Ferrari seemed to have just a little bit more top end, but it was only ever so slightly. Ten minutes left in the race. Yes, AC has full support of hybrid systems. One of the great things about Kunos adding a couple of the F1 hybrids in is that, yeah, they've full hybrid system, works very well, I must say. You can change how much energy the car regenerates under braking. You can have different deployment maps which you change between. Each car can have not only a battery limit, but a energy usage per lap limit. And as well, from the F1 cars that have an MGUH, which if you don't know is an electric motor hooked up to the turbos. When the turbos are spinning at full speed, the electric motor charges the battery, and that helps the turbos not to kill the engine by overboost. So sort of two benefits in one there from the MGUH. But then also when the turbos are slow, i.e. you're at a low RPM and you haven't got the turbos build up, the MGUH will spin up the turbos to eliminate turbo lag. So if we take Forza for example, which doesn't simulate hybrids correctly, instead they add a power boost to the engine, you'll notice the F1 cars have had a terrible turbo lag through Forza Motorsport 6 and 7 when they had the Renaults in the game. But as AC simulates turbos, the cars drive very nicely, as they do in real life, in terms of trying to put power down and not having turbo lag. But another little thing is in AC you can redirect where the energy that the MGH harvests goes to. So I mentioned that it charges the battery, but that isn't actually strictly true. That energy can be routed directly to the MGUK to provide a boost of power to the wheels. So instead of the turbo overboosting, damaging the engine, it instead, an electric motor captures that excess energy and delivers it to the wheel via a different electric motor. Very clever stuff. And a little neat thing about how the regulations around F1 power units is written is that any energy that goes from the MGH directly to the MGUK, not passing through the battery, does not count towards the energy limit you're allowed to use per lap. So whereas you're limited from transferring 4 megajoules of energy from the energy store as it's officially known, which is the battery, you're limited to 4 megajoules from that battery being transferred to the MGUK. But then if you take power directly from the MGH and transfer it to the MGUK bypassing the battery, it does not count towards that 4 megajoule energy. And Assetto Corsa does include a little toggle where you can switch between whether the MGH powers the battery or charges the battery. Very slowly it is. It's like no more than 10% of the F1 battery per lap. Or whether you get like a 40 horsepower boost down the straights. If you haven't been able to tell, I have read the technical regulations for F1 a few times. Unfortunately, with how these hypercars are implemented, specifically the Cadillac at least, there is no hybrid settings that you can change. But if you look at the HUD element I have in the bottom middle, that's telling us that we have... What on earth? I think that's a lag moment. That's a very weird lag moment there. It looks like we have lost a couple of cars. Few even. Oh, that's a real shame. Yeah, it seems like 3 prototypes have DC'd. And maybe a 4th one GT3 as well, making 4 people DCing in total. Which is a real shame. Right, pick a side, you two. Little awkward there. But yeah, as I was saying, the little HUD display in the middle that was just telling us that the session had 4 minutes left. That blue bar, it's also changing to green periodically when you're charging the battery. That displays how much energy is stored in the battery. You'll also notice a little white bar and a little red bar moving along that bar themselves. The white bar indicates how much hybrid power is being deployed. So when the white bar is on the left hand side, no energy is being deployed currently. And when the bar is at the right hand side, the hybrid deployment, the hybrid is deploying at maximum power through the MGUK. The red bar denotes how much energy you're allowed to use throughout the lap. Now it looks like with how this car is set up, it doesn't actually have a limit to how much energy it's allowed to use per lap, so that red bar is just sitting there on the right hand side of the bar. And then yeah, as I mentioned, the blue bar turns green when the battery is charging. We're getting really close to the end of the race now. As we're on lap 81 of the race. Just over a minute left in the race. As we enter the final sector, we will have time for one more lap. So we come out for the final corner, take some slipstream from BMW. The leading GT3 car, looks like a couple of the hypercars have got reconnected, which is good to see. As we start the final lap. Time runs out. Awkward bounce over the curb. I've also just noticed Florian, one of the unfortunate people that disconnected and has subsequently fallen to 4th from 3rd place because of that. They've actually said 27.8 now. So good on them getting into the 27s, even if it was through an unfortunate disconnect. Good on them to get sub 28. Oh, that's a car slowing down. I nearly went to the right hand side, so I'd be like, yeah, celebration, winning the race. And I noticed, wait, hang on a sec, that's a Mercedes going slowly. They don't want to do another lap. Turn the TC off. And yeah, a dominant win. Oh, that's a fun race. I always enjoy prototypes. They're a lot of fun. Shame we didn't have a few more numbers. I also think you never know with the sign-ups when you're signing up for these, you know, and you have multi-class. But Source seems like all the other fast people that are similar to my pace went in the GT class, which kind of made things a little bit easy. But yeah, it's always a joy to drive these cars. And it's always, I do enjoy a nice long endurance race where you just get to settle down with the car. Turn in a good load of laps. We got 82 laps in that race, those 2 hours. Also having to manage the traffic, having the GT3s to pass, keeps it interesting. So even if when you're not fighting for position like we were for that race, you know, you're not by yourself, you know, you're constantly passing people. And yeah, a real good fun race. Wow, that was reverse. Did not mean to put it in reverse. Well, there we go. There are the final results. Fun race. Despite the it being a little quiet. Best Vanderwall got P5. Best Ferrari in P6. I don't know how the DCs at the end affected it. Z4 Alfie winning to no surprise ahead of an R8. Nissan getting on the podium in GT3. Yeah, we had 19 people to start. Unfortunately, one person crashed on on the first racing lap. But yeah, good to see most people. I think one person in the GT3s left. There I can see only 47 laps. And then we've got these lot that didn't turn up. Not them. Not them at the top. They were meant to be commentating. Everyone else, shame on them. I can switch back to this. But yeah, an enjoyable race. Good fun. Yeah, shame it couldn't have been a close battle. Oh, that's a little stiff. But yeah, enjoyable nevertheless. Keep replay. Right, that replay is... Oh, it didn't get... It's only 4.2 gigs. Didn't get the whole race. Only got 100 minutes of it. I swear my replay settings to be... like, unlimited. Replays. Yeah, I've got set to like 7.5 gigs to be my max replay size. And it only 4.2 gigs and it's not the full race. Disappointing. Anyway, as we normally do at the end of streams, we do a little bit of rallying. And there's this fun game called Art of Rally, and it has daily and weekly events. And so at the end of every stream, here it is. I just like to jump on in to complete them. I've already done the weekly event for this week. Did that on Tuesday or Thursday. I can't remember. Currently sitting in 20th, top 5% for that, which is certainly better than the last couple of weeks were. And equally as good as the final week in September. Looking at the daily event then. We did this yesterday after our impromptu WRC stream, which if you missed that, go check out. We did some good fun rallying for the first time on the, I say new, it's now a year-old WRC game. But we've got 45th at the end of that. On Thursday, if it wants to load, 21st on Tuesday. And then on Thursday, 24th. So a bit disappointing yesterday. Let's see if we can improve on that today. Another Japanese stage on the gravel, the 7.1 mile stage, so quite long here. In a Group B car that is, can't quite tell from the headlights. RX-7? Car is very slidey. This is definitely a rear-wheel drive Group B car. Moves around quite a bit. A little bit difficult to keep in a straight line. Getting into that left-hander very nicely. trouble with traction. I'm going to take this little moment. I just realized I forgot to put up the right scene. Boop, boop. For controller inputs. I did not look like a jump I wanted to go full attack over. Especially with the fact that approach to it was anything but straight. A little bit of a cut there. Go away with it. Full attack over that jump though. Not too far from the stage end now, only about a quarter of the way to go. Final corner there. So finishing in 3 minutes 35.7. Fortunately, it seems like the servers are having a little bit of an issue. Let's see if we can. So we're 15 seconds off the top time. Fortunately, it's not telling us where that would be in this leaderboard. Let me see if a game restart will fix it. Because it would be nice to know. Oh, it's done the buggy out thing where it's actually letting me redo the stage. But I've already done it. Nah, we did the stage. Yeah, unfortunately, it's now showing as a DNF, despite the fact I did the stage. Because I went it back into and quit out. Oh well. We'll not worry about that too much. But yeah, that is going to do it for today's stream. We will be back on Tuesday with the penultimate round of the World Touring Car Championship. That is at Horsma Raceway. We had some fantastic racing at Portimao. As I mentioned last stream, the highlights of that Portimao round I put up yesterday. Well worth a watch. Great racing. Better racing than F1 has had all year. Trust me. Fantastic. hopefully the racing will be just as good at Horseman Raceway. Then on Thursday, we'll be back as well for the GT4 series. That is at Watkins Glen this week. And then next Saturday, starting much earlier, in fact, so much earlier that that stream will be finished by the time today's stream started. We will have a 6-hour race I'm doing solo at Donington on ACC. So 6 hours of Donington solo on ACC. That starts at 10:30 UK time. Qualifying starts 11 a.m. UK time for the race start. It'll be a long race as with the two that we've done so far this year. So yeah, as always, I will need the company. So I would greatly appreciate your presence during at least part of, if not the entire race, if you are willing to join. But yeah, it would be lovely to see some, if not all of you there, whether it be for a brief moment or most of the race. Yeah, any of your time would be greatly appreciated. And between that, there might be the occasional WRC stream. See what time I have, see what events there are for me to do, what club events. But yeah, I enjoyed Friday's stream, so keep an eye out. There may be a surprise WRC stream, like there was on Friday, most likely in the afternoon. So like 1, 2, 3 p.m. UK time. We'll see. We'll see. I have to see how busy I am. Anyway, yes, I was going to do it. Thank you, everyone, for being in chat. I'm trying to find my mouse to scroll back up. So, yeah, thank you, Iris, Aiden, Kevin, and Vala for being here. Hope you all enjoyed. And as I mentioned, hopefully I will see some of you, if not all of you, back for some more racing next week. But yeah, until then, thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your weekends, and I will, shall hopefully see you next week, next time. Until then, take care. Bye bye.